Kia ora from Aotearoa. Poppy here with the current 9th wave sacred Mayan calendar energies for DAYWAVE 145, which is in 11 monkey. So this is what I've downloaded from very much meditation and feeling and connecting and searching and questing for what these energies are at this time, and they are quite well as I see it. So DAYWAVE 145 in 11 monkey is an active opening up and initiation of our original magical abilities that we are reclaiming, as well as curiously exploring our environments and overturning illusions that reduced us to lesser than we actually are. These abilities come with a purity and innocent and caring intentions of our hearts. As fractals of source, our magic streams through us and transcends the trapping of the artificial time construct based upon Draco technology and timeline manipulation from the black magic realms, all very much held in a fourth dimension where a lot of satanic things have been done, and those of us that have been directly there and freed ourselves from it are actually starting to realize the nature of that programming and how connected it is to this black magic regime. So we are reclaiming our magic, realizing who we are again as we continue to heal and deprogram. So natural and pure magic is light, playful, always highly creative and in harmony with the true source light that seeds creation and materializes all in keeping with natural law. It is magic that is spontaneous and now. It is free of manipulation, agendas, planning and judgment. It does not harm anyone or anything. It harmonizes with creation. It transcends all and any lower forms of magic as we each come through with the source light and energy, realizing who we are and what we are capable of as we share life together. And this was also a little bit why so many of us were taken and hijacked and used for their purposes. And when we get out of that and we reclaim those gifts back for our own, and also we are sharing with others the absolute truth of who all humanity can become. I think that those that just went through the most shocking part of it and have had to do such life work that goes on and on, we know this is a very, very deep level, and I just know that so many of us are huge-hearted and that we took on what we did to end this so that humanity may thrive. And this is a huge, huge love that we have and that we hold for humanity, and that since we have been at the foundation of all these things that have happened, we have a lot to share when people will actually finally listen to us for how we may move forward free of this and reclaim the, our magic for ourselves so that it is no longer hijacked or taken. So our way is opening up through the primal trust we have in nature as she goes through her liberation and changes. Our inner shaman informs us most clearly through the Jaguar Tracina, and we may begin to comprehend balance and health in more life-affirming ways. We begin the Deer Tracina spiraling higher in frequency through space and now, and the sacred light of source we may consciously grow by. We are enlightened from within as we rise to shine our light authentically. Now, I'm talking very much about now as we have got free of that trauma, and I see trauma as slowing down time because we have to resolve things. And so as we are coming back and realizing who we are, we're certainly rising above these in the beautiful source light that many will know as Jesus, or there's many names in many cultures. I just choose to be very inclusive. I don't want to leave anybody out, because this way that I've discovered or found, I feel that it embraces everyone and everything, so that we can move together in unison and get beyond limits or belief, and get beyond all those things that come with words, really. Like when we do go back into telepathy, we see and we know as things are, and there's not that same need to try to communicate and explain, but the essence is there anyway. So the next day that we will be in is 12 red. So we see that still within that red, within the alligator tracina. That's us moving forward at our own pace and rhythm with purpose and wisdom as we participate in initiating new projects based upon our most recent growth. So initiating new projects. So initiation and beginning is very, very much part of that alligator energy. And we started a new Zolkin based off everything that we had grown and learnt by when we completed the last one. But you can flick back to older videos to get more of a comprehension of that if you wish to. Then we go to 13 read, the third day in the day wave of 11 monkey. We rise up towards a more shamanic and natural way as we are connected directly with the heart of Father Sky, like who is the Heavenly Father. A lot of people will call that God, and bring heaven to earth, collaborating together to initiate the ways of unitary consciousness. And then most of this day wave is actually within the tracina of Jaguar. This is beautiful. This is about actively questing as we take on a more natural or shamanic view of our lives directly from the meditations that we have with nature. So this is also getting away from the artificial constructs and the outer information, but finding that information that is within us. And this is where we are the most magical, from within ourselves. And when I'm talking about magic, I'm talking about just pure source connection, the ways that merge and go with nature and are for nature after she's been trampled on for so long. Then we have 2 eagle, day 5. So balanced on our outstretched wings with our hearts open between Mother Earth and Father Sky, raises up to heights where we see a global vision, where it is being made possible for all to prosper through natural law. This is a big returning. And then we go to 3 owl. So we're here just to keep you there. Actively activated owl wisdom to fly seamlessly through the dimensions our beings exist in, to see clearly for ourselves what our soul benefits most from exploring and seeing. Then up to 4 Earth, day 7 of the day wave. Earth most certainly is expanding and taking on new form while experiencing liberation from what has caught her and us. Like she's really venting through her volcanoes. There's a lot of change going in right down to the heart of her. That I'm aware of, and so that she can come back into her own. So she shares her knowledge with us through her changes, and it's most beneficial to experience ourselves as one with her now and see all through a more shamanic knowing, especially while there's going to be earthquakes and there's going to be all sorts that's happening as consciousness changes so rapidly with her. So being with her is the best way to be, and that way we are informed, really informed about her new form. Then 5 knife, day 8, we are empowered to cut away bindings such as fears. And you know, like, fears can come up. You know, they come up when they come up. I still have fears that come up. One of my fears, which I'm actually addressing by tuning into all of this, is it was based upon a real stuff, because my consciousness was hijacked. So the fear is still of consciousness hijacking. So I am cutting that away to move more playfully, instantaneously now. As we will all have different fears, but as we bring up those fears and we cut them away and we voice them out and we express them out to source, and we ask, you know, I give you my fear, and express the fears and find where they came from, then we can cut them away. It's our consciousness that matters most as we deprogram ourselves from what bound us to unnatural ways and control systems. Then the dark moon. Okay, so the moon cycles have been used very much by the dark or the black musicians, the ones that are part of and been serving the Draco technology. Moon cycles have definitely been used, and yeah, it's not even real. But anyway, 6 storm happens right at the dark moon, and this is about flowing with catalyzed energy of now within our neurology. Our belief systems may upgrade rapidly as we go direct with source and break free of the artificial ways that have previously intervened and limited us. So that's just taking that little section there. And then we go to 7 sun here. This is the 9-day phase. See, we're right at the top. The midpoint of the Jaguar Tracina and the DAYWAVE, where our minds may be enlightened through the light of the sun, where source energies flow through to us each day, and often with more impact due to heightened solar activity and the receiving of consciousness through the plasma that contains it. And the sun has really been hurling out so much plasma, and plasma, I believe and know and feel, holds consciousness. So consciousness is emitted through the sun, the consciousness that we may learn and grow by. Like, source is dynamic and happening and tangible. It's not some man in the clouds. It's an actual amazing thing that happens. And what I find incredible is that there is so much plasma in our body. Like, there's so much consciousness in our body, and this is why I think our blood was so valuable to those who sought life force and consciousness from us, and that's what's breaking down. And through us, we will not allow it to happen anymore, through the best of our ability and through our lives and what we took on to be the change. So as we find our way to be direct with the light of source, we become free of artificial agendas that have overridden and usurped nature's law. We may become more enlightened as to how to live more natural and shamanic ways. A shaman quests and receives answers for the self from within the self that harmonise with the all, especially as we sit with nature as a natural being. I see source as all that is. It's all consciousness. It's the omnipotence that is there. It's the omnipresence. It's everything. And the source light energy as an enlightening and how to live directly with source as a participating fractal of source, all connected and lovingly contributing with natural or universal law as equal, valuable and free. And look, you can go back to that and read over that. I'll have that in the comments of YouTube, it will be fully there in Substack and fully there in Facebook for all to see, because there's a lot in that sentence which will dawn upon our consciousness as we go. But as we approach that day, I will elaborate more. I intend to anyway. 8 alligator. So this is day 11. This is about wholesome new beginnings, initiating the new with primal trust in nature and source, birthing our magical being actively and more fearlessly now. Then 9 wind, day 12. This is being one with the breath of life. Some will call that the Holy Spirit. Our communication will come from the enlightenment we receive in direct connection with the source light. After all, it's more than air we breathe. So it can be seen as chi, as ki, as prana, modi. It is the breath of life. It's a dynamic, happening thing. Then we're going to move to 10 night, the 13th day of the DAYWAVE. And this is the challenge of dreaming and meditating while active on our feet to dawn solutions instantaneously with the source light flowing freely within us. Because we are in a DAYWAVE, this is much more dynamic, it's much more happening, and because time is moving so quickly now and collapsing in on itself to, you know, to that experience of now, well, yeah, it's like we will get our messages more instantaneously as we flow and are very, very connected with nature and with source. And so it's going to become of more paramount importance that we are, and that we're not falling short of that, because many people are still caught up in the lower frequencies, which unfortunately are related to Luciferianism and what the Dracos tried to catch us in. And this is, you know, because everything was infiltrated, religions were infiltrated, and so this pure source connection, I see it as incredibly valuable and vital at this time, very empowering. No fear, just acceptance and intention to be connected. And then we go to 11 seed, opening to the fruitfulness and abundance as we network and share naturally from our rapidly returning authentic being. And this happens as we take away the layers of programming. As a survivor, I am much, much more aware of the layers of programming that were put on us, and people that were not programmed this way are less aware of the programming that has been put on them, because it's often been more subtle, whereas for us it was just downright brutal. Okay, then we come to 12 serpent, and we may mature into the quickness and wisdom that circulates source light through our physical form, enlivening us and aligning us with pure life force. There's magic that can happen from the foundation of our physical human being experience. Being human and having this experience cannot be overrated. It's from this foundation that we move into the higher aspects of our being. And this is the part that we bring heaven into earth. Now, we are made of the earth, and we are also of the stars, and we also hold the heavenly frequencies within us when we are consciously connected with the source light. So that's how that works. And, you know, like serpent is also a very sensitive, sensual, and sexual energy. So we definitely would like that to be quickened and enlivened, to be with pure life force and not hijacked anymore. Then we come to 13, death, and this is an ultimately surrendering energy that we may trust after taking a more shamanic and natural comprehension and how we may live. And this ascends us into the Dia Tricina of natural balance and health. Then one Dia, we start a new Tricina. And Dia has the ability to gracefully detect and clear nefarious energies. Health and balance results by not being affected this way. It's interesting, and even when we think of the Master Jesus, and many people call him Jesus, I'm aware of different names through different cultures and all sorts, but the secret is that we are magical beings and we can transcend the ways of nefarious magic that the artificial time construct was built upon. So the foundation of all illnesses can be energetic. It's incredible that what we're discovering, and what so many of us are discovering through surviving and through resolving our issues that were connected with being used in satanic ritual, is that everything was based upon black magic and nefarious energies. So everything comes from frequency, everything comes out of energy, and so many people, we've been programmed that our health comes from environmental things and all of that, but the bulk of it actually comes from the frequencies that have been there. So if we can gracefully detect these nefarious energies that still may be impinging upon our balance and health, and we can clear those away, like with Dia, then our health comes back. And this is partly how my health is returning, which is a work in progress. I'm growing and learning just as everybody else is. And then the final day of this day wave is in 2-star, and this is prioritizing our authenticity, and knowing ourselves frees us to shine brightly and pulse in harmony with the true source light, like a star in a universe filled with many stars, harmonizing with each other in unison. So as this day wave begins, it is the 11th day of the alligator Tricina, so that is a contributing energy to this time, and it is a time of new beginning and initiating new things, birthing primal trust in nature and source with vital force circulating through our being. And then I'm just making mention because we had eclipses back in March, but because these eclipses can hold energy for some time, that even the black magicians try to use, but we may transcend that coming from a higher frequency than they. Well, basically the ones in March were about ending grand cycles and beginning new ones. So we're still very, very much in that energy. This energy goes on for months. And I just want to say that these are not channeled messages. They come from within me. They come from within my meditations that are with Source and that are with nature. They are an intuitive perspective, and they are very much based on my experiences and feeling into what is coming up in these time waves. And this is something that you kind of have to say, because the old powers that want to be still try to hold on, but I'll say it, it's intended for entertainment purposes. So let's entertain the unified field with our fractals of consciousness, the purity of our souls, because we all have incredible potential as we hold and contribute, and as we learn and grow with the source light energies. Each one of us contributes, each one of us is valuable and vital and needed here as we choose. It's still ultimately up to us, but I just would like to encourage everybody to hang in with each other through this time. I've had times of nearly letting go, and all the stuff that comes with when your life force is let go and then it's returned and all of that. but we are breaking through. We are doing this together, and I just love you with all of my heart. Lots of love.